This rogue build has 3 quite unique things about it. First one being, there is no basic skill. I'm only using Flurry, Triple Imbue, Poison Trap, and Shadow Clone. How do we sustain with this? Well, Flurry heals life every time you use it. And Blizzard just buffed this ring resource generation tool like by double. We get 38 primary resource for every 25% of our life that we heal. I got some more generation as well in case we can't heal. So that's one thing. Second thing, we have triple imbue here, which for season 1 with the Malignant Heart, the Wrathful Heart here, 15% chance to apply all imbue effects on all my attacks. So not only can I apply imbues to my attacks manually, but it happens automatically every 6 or so attacks. And finally, what's interesting about this build, yes, we're healing with our pants, but look, we've got dodge chance on our pants, on our boots, and dexterity for rogues also add dodge chance. So we actually get up to quite a bit of dodge. 22.5% just flat dodge chance, and then we have against close 11 and dodge chance against distant 15. So pretty much 1 in 3 attacks we are dodging. And if we go over to our Paragon board here, this is something I've never used before as a rogue. 25% damage for 8 seconds after dodging an attack. Interesting. Okay. But look, there's so many magic nodes of these blue ones of the same thing. So we actually get up to, every time we dodge, 87.5% extra damage just from dodging, which happens all the time. So let's put this to the test. Nightmare Dungeon 82. Pretty scary. Might get one shot by things in here. I think there are massive trees in here. And oh, of course, quills. It's a little bit scary, not gonna lie. But hopefully we can give you guys a pretty good showcase of the build anyway. And basically, I'm just holding right click and rotating through my imbues. So there, because there was nothing hitting me, I couldn't lose life, and my resource then gets drained. But if there is a lot of targets, we're doing just fine when it comes to resources. So we gotta slay all enemies here. Oh no, corpse bows. What are the odds? Place your bets right now. Will I get one shot by a corpse bow? I am not sure. So far so good. You know, we're not doing too shabby. Haven't really lost past half-life, I'd say, but we'll see when we get to some elite packs or something. It might get a little scary. 82 is, I mean, they nerfed significantly all of the Nightmare Dungeons. Oh, here we go. A Quill Cold Enchant. That's very scary. I'm glad. Okay, there we go. I think we'll be able to do it. We just gotta roll in, run in, poison them. Gives us a little bit of damage reduction. And there comes the corpse bow. We gotta go kill the corpse bow, don't we? Didn't think I'd need an elixir, but let's drink a 30% max life. We're up to 14,500 life, and we got 7,000 basically armor with another 3,000 off of a disobedience. Okay, where are you, Mr. Corpse Bow? I'm coming for you. There you are. All right, he's gone. It feels so good. You know, get that revenge. That was hardcore. I mean, don't use this build in hardcore. I mean, maybe there's a version of this, a Flurry. Maybe you want to, just maybe you want a basic skill with it though. There's no way this is the best optimal build in this game, but it sure is quite unique, at least from my perspective. I try to go a little bit off the beaten path. I'd say there's always, you know, the best way to do things, and a lot of streamers, they create guides for it, and it becomes a majority of players play the best builds. And I find the most interesting part of Diablo is like the theory crafting of what can I, like dodge, for example. I haven't seen anyone use dodge. How do I make dodge work? And I feel like we're at least got a we get some use out of it, you know, some benefit from dodging things. Oh, those dazing things are always scary to get stuck in, but we're good. We got through the intermission event. I think we're halfway through this. What's the next objective here? Tree bones, 3 of them, no problem. So I usually start off activating my cold imbue here. I run in and I stun the guy. He's frozen, and then I apply some poison to him, let it tick over time. We're gonna freeze everything else, activate our ultimate, get everything back, and we're just chilling. I gotta wait for them to hurt me a bit so I can generate my life, which regenerates my energy as well. 2 for 1. So it has to be difficult enough. This build it's like a fine line that this build walks on, where as long as it doesn't get one shot, we can just man fight and generate our life. But if it's too easy, we can't really do much of anything. So it's a quite different playstyle, I must admit. Okay, these trees probably one-shot me, I would imagine. I mean, they're cold enchanted trees, surely, right? Not that tanky. If we look here, almost 9,000 armor. Maybe that life, 30% max life elixir really helped. But the thing with, even though they basically halved the damage and life of Nightmare Dungeon, like pushing like what we're doing here in higher tiers, especially level 100 is so much easier than what it was with the numbers. That being said, they nerfed us. They nerfed the ability to get cooldown reduction, armor, vulnerable, all these things of characters they nerfed. So it kind of balances out. Plus, these enemies are level 136. I am 100. So they are much higher level than me, which means my armor becomes almost useless in comparison. So we got 56. Without disobedience stacks, I'm down to 55% reduction, which is not great. Definitely want that to go up. But they've said they made basically what used to be level 70 is closer to the 100 currently. And with that being said, level 7, the level of the monsters is still the same, right? Like it goes up by 1 for each tier. So even though they reduced it to that, I'd say it's like level 100 now is still way harder than what 70 was. Even though the hard numbers on paper are the same of the monsters, like they have whatever 3 million life or whatever that number is. And this is the final tree bone here. I'm vulnerable, which is a little scary, not gonna lie. So I have daze on my boots, which allows me to then knock him down, which gives me even more crit chance. So there you have it, 82. It wasn't that difficult. If I wasn't talking and kind of focusing, I could probably, I didn't need to die to those crossbows, but they're never easy to deal with no matter who you are and what you do, those corpse bows. I'll show you my skill tree real quick. Of course, it makes sense. We're not using basic skills. We have Sturdy for some DR. We're not using Siphoning Strikes at all because we're healing with Flurries as it is. Weapon Mastery, Concussive for the trap knockdown crit, but also because we're using Manglers in our boots, we crit from this as well on pretty much everything. This is the interesting one, Agile. We get 12% dodge chance every time we use a skill, which because we're rotating through imbues, it's all the time. That's how we maintain that dodge chance. Obviously these passives, and then of course we got most of our points spent in the imbuement skills here. Getting more vulnerable from Shadow, and for cold we're using the one that does more damage. Anything we hit with cold imbuement, they get frozen. And of course some more DR, and our amulet gives us even more frigid finesse, so 60% bonus damage against frozen. It's crazy. And of course Shadow Clone and Trap Mastery with 1 little point in Aftermath. If we need some energy, whenever we use our ultimate, we do get 30 from that. And Momentum, of course. Finally, if you are curious about my Paragon board, it is pretty straightforward, nothing too crazy. Closer, and the imbue tree here, we call it Eldritch Bounty with Efficacy, and Exploit Weakness with Infusion. You can exchange a lot of these, to be honest. And this is the funkiest tree in my opinion. Combat, obviously, to generate back more of our energy that we're spending with Flurry. But yeah, these dodge nodes, they're hilarious in my opinion. I don't think I'll ever use them again, but it worked. It worked for this. Tricks of the Trade finally with Exploit in it. I think any of the core skills can be replaced here, and you can just adjust accordingly, get your sustain from elsewhere. But I think the triple imbue, Poison Trap, Shadow Clone, these 5 skills together work beautifully. You can replace any of them too. You can replace a Shadow Imbue with a dash if you want more mobility. And if you're playing really easy content, you can just put more points in the movement speed nodes, like Stutter Step and Haste. And we have a lot of attack speed. If you look at my items here, call it a Nameless, it adds a bit of lucky hit chance, for example, to add Vulnerable from our Cold Imbue and dazing things off our boots. We got Disobedience, of course. This is where it gets interesting with the gloves. We got basically 30% attack speed off of these gloves because we have the after dodge bonus as well. And yes, we're not only generating life from Flurry, but also from this. Pretty much 1,000 life per second off of our pants here, and we got the dodge chance on them. Dodge chance from distant on the boots, and imbuement skill, 80% bonus in this crossbow here. Pretty defensive amulet in terms of the stats, but we got attack speed in here with the Brutal Heart, which is the seasonal thing. 20% DR just from the heart. It suppresses that damage. And obviously, this is where we generate our resource, and together with the other ring, Edgemaster, and helping out our Shadow Clone here. So he also applies all of our imbues as well. In summary, this is not the strongest build. I'd say it's like a 6 or 7 out of 10. Hard to push 100, I'd say, but I mean, we did a 80 pretty easily, so could probably go 90 something. And obviously we don't have best in slot gear as well. I got a helmet here that is definitely better with cheats in it, but we have nothing that slows or chills. So it's not super helpful. But yeah, I'm going to make adjustments to this build and maybe make a complete Flurry, no basic skill build. So stay tuned for that. And oh, by the way, you might be noticing I'm in a different place than most of my videos where I film. It's because I'm back in Sweden with my family over the summer, and the quality of the footage is so bad. It's I'm playing on my laptop. I'm surprised it can even record, to be honest with you. In a few weeks, I'll be back with my official setup. But for now, this is all I've got. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.